I almost didn't finish Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Early on in my play sessions, as the game threw the same kind of hidden object puzzle at me over and over again, I got bored of the repetition and frustrated with my solution of just look everywhere and hope. As a result, even though I was enjoying the game's story and loving its sound design, I ended up googling Too Many Puzzles, Hellblade, just to see if the rest of the game was like that. The internet said it wasn't, and so I kept going. I'm so glad I did. Ninja Theory's Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, a third-person puzzler and arena brawler, came out in 2017 to well-earned acclaim. The game is intensely atmospheric. Senua's inner voices cajole, cheer, and curse her as she battles her way across haunting landscapes and twisted mazes. While the combat is merely solid, the game's message of how valuable different perspectives are comes through loud and clear. Hellblade's gameplay revolves around mazes, Zelda-like combat, and perspective puzzles. The mazes were interesting, leveraging the dreamlike things a game can produce, and at times pushing me to rely on sound and touch to maneuver through them. The combat, on the other hand, is just fine. Like in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Senua locks on to specific opponents, and she can use various attacks to hurt or disrupt them. While she generally sticks to sword fighting, Senua does have an ability called Focus that slows down time and strips away any magical protection that her opponents have. These mechanics all work well together, but the game does not do a good job of explaining how to do any of this, either relying on the player's own experience or on their willingness to fumble through the game. Some of this frustration is no doubt intentional, but players lured in by the good reviews but who haven't played a game like this before will have a rough go of it. As I stated before, I found the mini perspective puzzles to range from boring to frustrating. While the figurative meaning of most of them was clear, the actual gameplay was tedious, and often I just brute forced my way to the solution, never understanding their underlying logic. Still, I kept going, because Hellblade's story is really good. It's a retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice, with Senua playing the part of the lover who heads down into the underworld to find their lost love. The twist is that instead of Hades, it's Helheim, and instead of being a pretty bard, Senua is a hardened warrior ready to fight for her love. All this is also contextualized to Senua's inner voices, which advance the story and establish her character. The most notable of these are a narrator who recounts Senua's past, a storyteller who shares Norse mythology, and a dark growl, which hints at the real thing driving Senua forward. Combined, these voices kept me interested in both Senua and her story, while never letting me lose sight of her identity. All of this would be a mess if the sound design wasn't excellent. Hellblade uses Senua's voices to not only convey the narrative, but as emotional reinforcement and as a gameplay aid. The first time you enter combat, the voices shout out Senua's fears and hopes and bloodlust, even warning you of enemies approaching from her blind spots. When you play this game, play with headphones on. It's worth it. Oh, and Senua knows you're there. It's not unsettling. Not at all. So, should you play Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice? Yes.